My name is Emma, a 22-year-old biology student living in Boston, Massachusetts. A staunch believer in science, I've always approached life with logic and rationality. I was never one for superstitions or ghost stories. To me, they were mere folklore designed to amuse or frighten. But one autumn night, my skepticism was put to the test in a way that would forever shake the foundations of my beliefs. I'll never forget the night I visited the abandoned asylum on Willow Creek Road. People said it was cursed, haunted by the tormented souls who were once subjected to unspeakable experiments. I was a skeptic, a science student with a rational mind. But something drew me to that forsaken place one foggy evening. The moon was full, casting an eerie glow over the decrepit building as I approached. Weeds had overgrown the path, and the once white walls were now stained and peeling. I pulled out my flashlight and stepped inside. The air was heavy, filled with the musty scent of decay and mildew. My heart was racing as I walked down the long, narrow hallway, my footsteps echoing in the silence. Flickering lights barely illuminated the broken tiles and graffiti-covered walls. I found myself in a room filled with rusty medical equipment. Steel tables, straps, and antiquated machines that seemed straight out of a horror film. The atmosphere was suffocating, as if the walls themselves were closing in on me. As I explored further, I heard it, the faint sound of crying. It seemed to come from the floor below. Compelled by a mix of curiosity and dread, I followed the sound. Each step down the creaky staircase felt like a descent into an abyss. The crying grew louder, now mixed with murmurs and whispers. I reached the basement and swung my flashlight around. There, in the corner, was a woman, or what seemed to be a woman, huddled against the wall. She was dressed in tattered rags, her face hidden by her long, greasy hair. My gut told me to flee, but I was paralyzed by a morbid fascination. She lifted her head, and our eyes met. Hers were hollow, empty pools of despair. "Help me," she whispered. It was at that moment that I realized the weight of the atmosphere wasn't just the damp and the decay, it was the tangible essence of human suffering. As if on cue, the room filled with cacophonous wails and cries, as if the very walls were screaming. My mind raced. This couldn't be real. I was a person of science, logic. Weren't ghosts just figments of our imagination, fueled by our own fears? I turned to run, but tripped and fell, my flashlight slipping out of my hand. The room went pitch black. I felt hands grasp at my feet, pulling me deeper into the darkness. I screamed, but no sound came out. Just when I thought I would be swallowed whole, a ray of moonlight burst through a crack in the wall, illuminating the room. The hands vanished. I scrambled to my feet and raced up the stairs, not stopping until I burst out into the open air. I made it back to my car, heart pounding, and drove away as fast as I could. When I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw the woman standing in the doorway of the asylum, her empty eyes staring after me. Since that night, I've tried to make sense of what happened. I've read old records and spoken to locals. Turns out, the asylum was shut down decades ago after numerous reports of unethical practices and experiments on patients. I've returned to my life of science and rationality, but I can't escape the haunting feeling that what I experienced was real, that I had touched the very fabric of human despair and suffering. People say that we fear what we don't understand. But what if it's the other way around? What if we don't understand because we fear? I still can't explain what happened that night, but I no longer scoff at those who believe in the supernatural. Because sometimes, the most terrifying things in life are those that defy explanation. And the woman in the basement? I don't know who or what she was, but her eyes haunt my dreams to this day, a chilling reminder that there are things in this world far more terrifying than we can ever comprehend.